All right. Hello, we're here chatting with Spinladen, local DJ, spins on KWA, originally from Milwaukee. Thank you. Sorry. Yep. And we're chilling at his spot. He has a deep funk and soul collection, 45 12-inch. But we're talking to him today about funk and soul covers. So you have a book in your hand there. What is
album
that book?
Covers. This is a collection of Blue Note album covers.
All right.
Let's see.
Nice book of different stuff. Yeah. So why you pull that out? If we're talking about soul and funk, like Blue Note is jazz, right?
Correct. And these are all earlier than soul and funk. Okay. This is the predecessor, and the album cover artwork in these is very distinctive, as well as it's very influential to the history of all album covers, I think. Because Blue Note and some of their earlier predecessors, like that earlier album labels, were the first to really put quite a bit of effort into their art department and marketing the album cover to be something that'll catch the viewer.
Cool. Yeah.
As well as prominently displaying who the artist is and a picture of them. So that history right there continues on through soul and funk.
Okay, cool. Definitely a book I'll check out.
As an influence.
Yeah.
And so I brought a few records to sort of illustrate that point.
Sweet. Excellent. Well, let's look at the illustrated point here.
So here's an original that sort of resembles a Blue Note album cover. This is Columbia, who took their influence from Blue Note in the album cover styling. This is a jazz record. And clearly, when you look, you see that sort of thing influences soul records. If you look at the two together, you can kind of tell. They share very similar aspects. And originally, this would have been released in blue and black.
Huh.
Or in a bluer color. This is a repressing.
Oh, it's a repress, but the original version is blue?
Yeah, it's like almost that same color.
Is that one of Aretha's first albums right there?
It's early. It's in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or 1969 or something.
Oh, nice.
Here's just another jazz one to sort of illustrate that point.
Yeah. So more of the picture covers is what you're kind of looking at right now.
Here's another jazz one. Sort of illustrate that point, and then see that sort of influences in the 60s, like all the album covers you see. They're sort of displayed with the people's faces, who they are real prominently on the cover.
Yeah, exactly. So people can recognize them. They're like, I know that artist, and they have the style.
They're done very tastefully with the lettering being kind of sort of eye-catching.
And also they have a certain style going on with that too.
Exactly.
Like they're all coordinated with their outfits.
That style is very, very prominent.
They're the intruders, man.
With soul records, the early 60s stuff is real straightforward, like this style, and only a few groups. Now this is sort of a derivation on that. It's like the same idea, only this has a little more of a narrative, showing you that the impressions are a little bit down and out. Like it's that same idea as the Supremes record, only now you get a little gritty feel for the urban life.
Yeah,
the urban
they're not just all happy and smiling. They're like, wow, we're on the street.
Exactly.
And like this is what's going to be influencing our music.
Exactly.
This style, this is our life.
Yep.
I think.
So I mean, this is sort of typical too for soul records. They're prominently showing their vehicles and their style
and their fam too. It's kind of not just their band, but it's like let's look at all the people that are important to us.
Exactly.
And
put
kind
it
of
all
showcase
together.
them. Yeah, exactly.
So this is kind of where it starts to take off into a little different, and then and sort of illustrate the same point that I was making earlier. Here's a Grant Green record from '71. You see, it has that typical Blue Note stuff, except for this is maybe a little bit more 70s. It's a little more outlandish.
And kind of avant-garde, like, you got these glasses with the clouds and stuff.
Exactly.
And the same thing in the back.
And then here's a Bobby Womack record from '72.
That's a nice record.
That clearly took its influence from that.
Yeah, totally.
So one completely influenced the other.
Exactly.
And so, like I said again, before you have jazz coming first, and then people taking their influence from jazz, because it is such an avant-garde movement that the originality of the music and the originality of the artwork displayed is typically a forerunner for soul and funk.
Yeah.
Here's just another jazz one.
Freddie Hubbard.
Which is clearly kind of... So this idea here of collage is sort of
CTI,
used...
man, they had a lot of classic covers.
Right. Is sort of used for soul. Again, the collage, and then you see a collage in the Chamber Brothers, the soul record, and he's kind of doing the same thing with the collage into the photographs and stuff. This is actually one of my favorite album covers. It's just so unique and also so intricate.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of mandala, you know, like a Tibetan mandala kind of thing, just like
it's not
a circle
symmetrical,
pattern.
but it's And see, now then this sort of thing I feel like really influences one of the greatest album cover groups, Funkadelic.
Oh yeah, and this is I'm going to talk a lot about them in my
and so
my
this is one of their more typical.
I've never seen this one before.
This is on Westbound, like maybe about their fourth or fifth record release. And I think that, you know, it really took influence from this sort of thing that the Chambers Brothers were doing.
The colors, the like
colors,
kind of
and
style.
the really just style being now it's kind of out there.
What year was that Chamber Brothers record
60s.
release? 60s, and so this is now 74.
Yeah.
So and it's kind of evolved too into something a little different. I mean, it's like more cartoony, whereas this one, it's still cartoonish, but it looks a little more higher art in a way, and then this one looks a little bit more like.
You know, and then they get the later 70s there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just still along the same lines here, but a little more outlandish, more of that collage style still, you know, late 70s soul and funk.
There he is right there, the man.
Yeah. Hamilton Bohannon. And then not just the, again, with the jazz influencing, you know, you have illustration. It's a jazz record with an illustrated cover drawn out, and then again, another illustrated soul release. So sort of one precedes the other, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they greatly influenced the other.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
That's a really cool cover.
So that's about my spiel, really.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today, man. Any other like kind of last remarks or anything? All right.
Keep on souling.
All right, cool, man. Thanks.